Hello my Bandicrew and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be going over two more chapters from Crash Bandicoot Spin World. It's the Crash Bandicoot 3 semi-adaptation, and this issue came out in 2002, and you can see that it has Crash Bandicoot, the Wrath of Cortex art in the top there. So this is coming out way after Crash Bandicoot Warped, but it has the Crash Bandicoot Warped characters. Like, there's no crunch in these comics or anything. So with all that said, we're just going to jump into it and cover the next two chapters. So we have chapter 3 and 4, I have them listed as, but they come out sporadically on the Coro magazine here. And I'm going to put in the description what chapter they actually are, because as far as I'm aware, there's 14 chapters, but not all of them have been scanned. So we're not going to have a complete series read-through on my channel, unfortunately, unless I'm able to somehow find and scan the missing chapters. But with all that said, we're just going to jump into what I'm calling Chapter 3 for this video. And it looks like we have Crash and Cortex doing psychic abilities. So we start off here on the far right. It says, Fall. If you concentrate, can anyone do it? There. And Crash is reading a book that says Superpowers. Anyone can do it, and it's easy. He kind of looks like fake Crash with his eyebrows being all angry there. But he's just like getting really into it. And it says, watch, it says Paula, but it's Polar. It says, watch, Polar, I'm going to drop the Wumpa with my superpowers. And Polar goes, really? And then Crash goes, fall! And he gets shocked by lightning. Then we move on, and it's the ability awakening. And Polar runs over, bro, are you okay? And Crash says, water. So he needs water because he got toasted. And as he says water, it looks like a glass of water just starts floating over to him. So Polar goes, amazing! You're really using superpowers! And Crash slurps the water and he goes, come, medicine. Warp to me next. So he's trying to pull bandages to himself because he was zapped, and it looks like he's pulling some sort of mummy to himself with his powers. So then we move to the next one, and it is spoon bending. And Polar shows Crash the bent spoon, and it says, I was struck by lightning, and now I have superpowers, bro. And Coco says, you probably wanted to bend that with strength, right? And Crash starts rubbing it. Rub. And then the spoon starts laughing because he tickled it. And it says, what is that? Aku says. So that's Spoon Coon. Then we move over to Owner. I've seen that, it says peg, but I assume it means bag. I've seen that bag somewhere before. I wonder who it belongs to. And then he's remembering. He's like, oh yeah, it's Coco's. And he goes to grab it. And I get, is he having a vision of Tiny giving her the bag? And then Tiny kicks Polar. Okay, I am sorry, guys. I don't understand what's going on with that comic there. Maybe you can describe it in the comment section, because I don't really know what's going on. So Crash sees a bag. He's looking at it, thinking it's Coco's, and then using his psychic powers to figure out that Tiny gave it to Coco. Oh, maybe he stole it from Polar to give it to Coco. Maybe that's it. That's kind of not funny. But anyway, moving on. Superpowers. We've got Crash, and he's kind of just like hovering in the air. And then Cortex walks up to him and he says, I wish I could use superpowers too. And Engine says, Dr. Cortex, please put this on your head. And expected amazing is... Oh, Mason. So it's probably trying to say engine. Engine is fast. Now I have powers. Now I have power. I am a psychic. So it shows Cortex putting the helmet on, trying to fly like Crash, and then little wings sprout out and it flies away. And Engine says, success! And Cortex is like, that's not what I wanted to happen. Okay. Then we move on, and we have a race. I've also obtained superpowers, says Cortex. I won't lose to the likes of you anymore. Vanish, Crash! And he starts shooting a beam at Crash. And then Crash says, you're the one who's going to disappear. And he zaps him back, and then poof, they're both naked. Get some Cortex booty there. And Crash is blocked by a leaf, thankfully. X-ray vision. It's no use hiding, Crash. Super co-visible through power. So I assume that just means X-ray power. X-ray visions. And Crash froze him. Death by freezing. Frozen solid. Okay. So that happened. He didn't die, obviously. But that's what it says. Death by frozen. Or death by freezing. And then we have... It says Aqua's body, but obviously that's Aku's body. Crash, can you use your abilities to make a body for Aku? Why, now of all times? No matter how handsome your face is, you won't be popular with the girls if you don't have a body. And then Crash thinks about it. And then Coco and Polar are imagining what Aku's body will look like. And Crash says, all right, let's go! And he zaps him. This is my super great. Bzzz. And the body he gives him is that of a dog. And they're all laughing at him. Look at Crash's face. He's really loving it. And then we got Aku biting his head. Take this seriously. And Crash goes, gotcha. Geez, you're so selfish. My face and body clearly don't match at all. Okay, this time I'm going to create a body that's perfect for Aku. And he zaps him again and turns him into a worm this time. What the heck? And we've got sneak peek. Tiny being a pervert. I will have those same powers with this. So he wants to use his psychic powers to snoop on Coco and use it to peek into Coco's room. And then he sees a naked body and he's going gaga. Ooh, is she taking a bath? And it zooms out and it's naked Aku. I have the ideal body at last. And Tiny's like, ah! Then we move on to telepathy. Help me. Is this telepathy? It hurts. Where are you? And Crash is... So Crash can hear ghosts now. And Coco and Polar are scared. Then we move on to Crash's weakness. It's about time I expose Crash's weakness with my superpowers. His body seems healthy. Dang it, where's his weak point? His head? Your brain is tiny. So Crash's weakness is his brain. And then we move on to the final page in Chapter 3 where they have psychic powers. Called Rain Barrier. So Cortex says, barrier! And he makes a barrier to stop the rain. And then Crash says, oh, I missed the first panel. Coco's saying, it's raining. And then Cortex blocks the rain. And then Coco says to Crash, you do something about this too, big brother. And Crash says, super duper feeling good. And he poofs into an umbrella to block the rain. And then he gets struck by lightning and everyone around him also gets zapped. So I assume that is the end and he loses his power. because he gets zapped again, because from here on out, I'm pretty sure Crash will not have superpowers anymore. So he gained super abilities by getting struck by lightning, and then he lost the abilities by getting struck by lightning too. So that was the end of Chapter 3, and now we're going to move on to Chapter 4, and if I remember correctly, it's all blue. Yes. Okay, so this chapter is about a boxing match, or multiple boxing matches. So the first chapter of this video was about superpowers, and now this one is about boxing. So you got Cortex and Crash. Crash got the cool boxing gloves. He's ready to go. Oh, and I want to say this. This video will be the last one where I have like random different translations, because I was grabbing pages from other places online, and I was using one of the Google Lens translating apps. I've since found a translating program called Ichigo. It's like a strawberry, and that one seems good. So the last couple pages of this chapter, I used the Ichigo one, and going forward with all the raws that I find, I'm going to use that Ichigo one because it does a good job translating, better than some of the other ones I have. But anyway, here we go. Confrontation. It's rare to see Crash training. They say he's confronting Cortex tomorrow, says Coco. Do your best, bro. Crash is doing pull-ups with his fingers. It says, ding ding, Crash and Cortex have a fierce clash in martial arts. And it shows their boxing. Boom, 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 boom. And it zooms out, and they're just playing with toys. So, Chikakakachi 9000. 9 sheep thousand. So I guess that's their punches are ch-ch-ch-ch-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Are you using toys? And that's the end of the first page. Then we have Crash training without even eating. This time he seems serious. So there's the rice balls over there on the side that Crash refuses to eat. So he gets a six-pack. That looks disgusting. Bro, your abs are perfectly sculpted. No punch will work anymore, says Crash. And then when he gets into the ring, he's just starving. Grumble, grumble, grumble. And Aku said, bah, what are you doing? Then we move on. Player entrance. Entrance time for Crash. And Crash is going into the ring. And everyone is his fan. We got 2 anthropomorphic females that I don't recognize the animal they're trying to be. A little baseball cap, a lab assistant, another bear-like character, and that's probably Polar. And it says, as expected of Bro, he's popular. So everyone was slapping and punching and loving him. And it says, heading to the ring. So his opponent's coming to the ring for the next page. And we just see Polar looking at beat up Crash. Okay, now this one I read earlier and I do not understand what's going on. It says, here comes the tracking shuriken. Are you okay, big brother? And I don't know what's going on with these little things that they stuck to his back. This will definitely work. Like grandpa? So it's something that older people do. I'm not sure what it is, but they stick pads to their backs. And it says, suddenly Cortex uses illegal weapon. And he's throwing shurikens at Crash, and Crash dodged them. But then they loop around and they hit him in the back. And it says, magnetic seal. So I guess the things that are put on his back are magnetic to help with blood flow or something. But because it's magnets, the shurikens hit him. And Crash goes, oh, why? And he's crying. Then we move on to the 3 count. Crash is down from the shurikens. And it says, Cortex, immediate pinning. Crash. Can Crash return? 1, 2, 3. And right as he slaps, Crash jumps up. Too late, Crash. You lost. Heel drop. Your opponent looks strong, though. It's okay. I have a new special move. Here comes Crash heel drop. So I guess he lost against Cortex. I'm not completely sure, but then maybe the next round starts and he's going against Tiny now. And Crash, his heel drop slammed into the spike on Tiny's shoulder pad. Big jackpot. Look at that. Ooh, his poor foot. And we move on to Crash going crazy Luffy style punching. The ultimate weapon. Oh no, it's not Luffy, it's Fist of the North Star. Yata-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, you're already dead. And then the smoke clears and Tiny's just like, is that the end? Oh, the punch from Crash is not working. Slush, slush. Crash has... He's got sweaty hands. From all that punching, sweaty, sweaty hands. It says slursh, slursh. And he says, how about this? And he's going to punch him with his bare hand. Crash punches with bare hands. And Tiny looks all scared. Oh. And Crash's gloves are super stinky. And Tiny faints and falls down. Tiny down. Okay, and then we move on to Operation to Create. Don't let your guard down just because it says I'm a woman, but I assume it's a woman. Time for the woman's military match to begin. That says, that's what I heard. That's what I heard, isn't it? And it's not Coco. It's Aku Aku, and Tiny smashes him. Boom! So Crash lost to Cortex, but then beat Tiny. So that's the good guys have 1 win and 1 loss. And now Tiny has 1 win. And now we're going on to actual close contact. Coco is tightening her hold on Tiny. This is tough. And look how excited Tiny is. Because he's a pervert and he loves Coco, squeezing him. I'm so happy. Coco is hugging me. And his spirit's floating away. And he's knocked out. Cortex screams, hey, come back! So now it's a draw. They both have 1 win and 1 loss. And it says the next round is Aku Aku versus Uka Uka. Not the elementals, the ancients would not agree with this. They're not allowed to fight, guys. Remember in Crash Bash when they said the ancients would not allow it? But anyway, moving on, it says, I wonder what kind of match it will be between similar types. I'm looking forward to it, says Crash. Aku Aku flew! And they both faceplant. So I guess just because they're masks, they're not going to use their powers. And Aku Aku's got a bloody nose, and it says, Aku Aku victory! Is this a game of Menko? I'm not sure what Menko is, but... So it looks like a double KO. They both got knocked out, so it's still a draw. And now it says, weights. Shall I start? Getting serious now. And he takes off his weighted clothing, and it looks like it thumps to the ground. And Cortex says, what have you been wearing? Have you been wearing such heavy things until now? And then Engine says, then it's my turn as well. And Cortex says, Engine's wearing weights too? And we see Engine remove his cybernetic enhancements, plopping them down on the ground. And now he looks disgusting. So even though he removed his cybernetic enhancements, it appears that his skeleton is still robotic. So the only organic material on Engine is that side of his face. Really nasty. Anyway, so now we're going into the final battle. It's all tied up. A battle royale, it seems. Final battle. Shall we settle this once and for all? Crash says, I'm the strongest. So it's Cortex, Tiny, Uka Uka, Engine, Dingo Dial, and a lab assistant versus Baby T, Polar, Aku Aku, Coco, and Crash. It's pulling from Crash Bandicoot Warped, so there wouldn't be more characters to pull from, so we don't have like Crunch or Yaya or anything. And now it says, it's finally time for me to show my true strength, says Engine. And then Polar says, I won't lose to you, big bro. And ding, we start. And there's a big fight. Coco's punching Tiny in the mouth. Dingo on Baby T. Polar does an uppercut. Crash is kicking Cortex in the face. We see punches all over the place. Bloody noses. Dust all over the place. And we move on to the final page of Chapter 4. And the dust is settling. It says, "Who won?" And we see a silhouette of Crash. As expected, it's my big brother. And Cortex says, "You really are impressive." And then we zoom out and it says, "Winner, Crash Bandicoot." Losing to a fake Crash is just pathetic. And it's fake Crash. Fake Crash wins. And Crash says, "No, it's not. It's not Crash. It's fake Crash." So the Battle Royale is over. The boxing matches are finished. And the winner is fake Crash, which is kind of suiting because we had a tie with the villains and the heroes, and then the final winner ends up being someone who's ambiguous whether he's a hero or a villain. So everybody wins, right? Well, my Bandicoot, that is the end of the video. We have finished Chapter 4, and look at Crash with those giant eyebrows. That's ridiculous. So this series was 14 chapters long, and like I said earlier in the video, they have not all been scanned, but I'm going to be using this translation application now. It's called Ichigo. It's like a strawberry, and so moving forward, the translations are all going to be stationary. It's not going to be jumping from different one to different one. They're all going to be uniform, rather, not stationary. They're all going to be uniform. It's all going to be the same translation from the same site. I'm not going to be pulling from different sites anymore. So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will catch you in the next one. Have a great night.